Hello, everyone. Welcome, and happy Friday. Today is a great day because we've got something special to announce with you guys around the topic. But first of all, I'm PH, Paul Hai. He's PH, Phil Hoang. We're all PHs. Phil, what's today's PH of the day?
Happy Friday, everyone. PH for the week is Pizza Hut.
Food this time.
Food, mate. Food. Do you remember you used to go to Pizza Hut back in the day?
I did.
Yeah. Back in the day before they botched it with the all you can eat. It was an actual restaurant and they bring out the dish and it was an actual family affair.
Yes.
Remember those days.
I remember.
Yeah. Before the fast delivery thing, they ruined it, but yeah.
Before Domino's, right?
No. I think they went family restaurant, and then they in the late 90s or early 2000s they went leaning super deep on the home delivery, and then and then I think they kind of lost that magic a little bit, Pizza Hut.
They had an iconic building shape.
Oh,
right?
yes,
with the roof, the red roof.
Yeah,
right?
the red roof.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like the hut, like the helmet of the hut.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bring back some fond memories as a kid.
It does. Actually, out of interest, what's your favorite pizza?
Oh, my go-to was the Super Supreme. I love the Super Supreme. Not good for the cholesterol now, but Super Supreme. Yeah, man, that was my go-to. It was something about it. It. Standard crust as well. I don't want all that cheese crust, but just the Super Supreme was my jam. It was kind of like the a la, aka the lot. Yeah. Had everything in it. That's my jam. What was yours?
Mine was the since I love chicken, it's barbecue chicken.
Oh, of course, man.
Of
course. Barbecue chicken with barbecue sauce.
I always have to have that barbecue swirl on the top. Right? So that's the request. Obviously, that's the option that you make. So
nice.
Yeah, that was mine.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, great PH today.
Yeah, good PH. Yeah.
Thanks for the share.
So today, it's a special day because it's an Apple announcement week. Everybody, yeah. Comes twice a year. How exciting! So, Paulie, let's talk about new iPhones, shall we?
Yeah, we should actually. So, good to see Tim Cook on stage again. It was all virtual, right?
Yeah, it was virtual.
No one's at Cupertino, obviously COVID and so forth. So, you could tune in online.
And I think they timed it pretty well with International Women's Day, and there was a lot of women presenting on the video.
There was actually, I noticed that. Yeah, which is great. Celebrating all the women out there, which is good. Let's have a look at the product. So I think one of the first things they announced was a little bit on Apple TV Plus. They had a huge trailer on Apple TV Plus, and the big thing was Friday Night Baseball. Probably not relevant too much to us because, baseball is not a huge thing in Australia and New Zealand. I know it is over there in the States and in Canada. In fact, when I used to live in Canada, I went to a few baseball games and supported the Blue Jays, the Toronto Blue Jays. So that was quite exciting. But yeah, that was one thing. The other thing, I don't know if you guys are excited or not, but they added 2 new colors to the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 13 Pro and the green. So the green for the iPhone 13 and the Alpine green for the iPhone 13 Pro. That's all I got for that, mate.
What I like to know is, all right, I love to be the fly on the wall when they choose these colors. They must look at thousands of swatches. How did they come to that green color? Is what I want to know. This is what I want to know.
Apparently green's quite an in thing now. I mean, I've spoken to some customers of mine and
Yeah.
some friends of mine. They got the green going on, right, in the clothing and
I don't know. Is it like like a schoolyard mini? They have five swatches mini money mo. Do they rip that color? This is like green. It's like
they have a spinning wheel, mate. And this year landed on green. So
yeah, it's definitely not a personal choice from my end, but yeah, I mean, at least they got a new color out.
New color, right? And I don't know, maybe it ties into environmental. Maybe.
So Paul, just on the Apple TV, I came on late the live stream because I couldn't. I was looking at the wrong YouTube video live. So with the baseball, is that live or is it kind of like streamed, like as in pre-recorded and you can rewatch it?
I believe it's live.
Yeah, that's
two games. Two games live on a Friday.
Wow, that's huge. Because I think the baseball, from my understanding, they're very protective of their rights in that sport. So for Apple to get it, that's a huge scalp.
But we'll probably need to have a look at it later on deeper. But I didn't see the NBL logo on there when they presented. So I don't know how much of the rights.
Right.
Is there.
Maybe some teams.
But, it was like the last thing they went through, like after everything Apple TV.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, they raved on about all the nominations.
Yes. They've gone ultra. They've leaned in ultra hard on that kind of like the content that that scales towards those awards. Right? They've gone ultra hard in that. So
the original series, right?
The original series, yes. Original series, they've been ultra hard. They're getting all the macro writers, the directors, and they're producing some killer content. Well, critically acclaimed, sort of like from a awards voting perspective. But yeah, good.
Yeah,
good on them.
I mean, look, there was Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, all those guys, like the big stars,
the big macro stars, right? So yeah, it's definitely they're seeing the results of the commitment to it. That's good.
Let's talk about the new iPhone that they launched.
Yes. What's new about it?
What's new about it?
Yeah, what's new about it?
Well, you tell me, mate.
Oh, what's new about it? I think they put a third gen on it. It's got the A15 Bionic chip, so same chip as the iPhone 13. So it's the same spec, not the old previous, because SE always got the previous gen chipset. Small iPhone, great value, but I think that's marking a spin because it's the same as the 8 form factor. Correct me if I'm not wrong. Same as the 8 form factor, still with the Touch ID, which I actually prefer the Touch ID given we're having a face mask and put it on, or rather the phone unlocked than, and putting the PIN number in, right? So I actually would prefer the Touch ID at the moment on my iPhone. I love it because we always find kind of like the narrative that they want to drive in these videos. This one was 5G. It's got 5G added to it, so it's like we don't know. Pre-order as from tomorrow and launching the 18th of March, selected countries.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's the new iPhone. Let's see.
I guess if everyone wants the smallest iPhone, right? That's still got Touch ID.
Still got Touch ID, and it's running the same chipset as the current 13, which is pretty good.
That's quite fast.
It's quite fast. Yeah. Camera-wise is still not as good, but hey, I think retail in Australia, I mean, it's what, $700? So it's probably aimed towards that early teenager market or early adult because it's quite affordable. Yeah. It is the most affordable iPhone out there in their range.
Yeah. You did mention that you could buy this for your son.
Yeah. I'm like, because I want to get my son an Apple Watch, but an Apple Watch only pairs with an iPhone. You can't pair with an iPad to open it. So but the problem is if he if I buy my son an Apple Watch and I compare it to my phone to open it, to use it, right? But the Apple Watch needs to be cellular for it to happen. So if I buy my son the SE, he can have any watch, right? It doesn't have to be cellular. So that's probably ideal, but
Right. I see.
Yep.
I see. Well, actually, one thing that when they were playing a video that actually reminded me was a feature that's in the latest OS called Live Text. Have you played with that before?
I use that every day.
Yeah.
I use that every day. As you know, I'm on a bit of a goals set for myself, 52 books for the 12-month period.
Yes.
And I constantly highlight and I constantly use that feature to copy the text back into digital notes. It's a little bit clunky because sometimes if you don't angle it right, it doesn't appear. The box doesn't appear, and then you can't do the live text. Workaround way is take the photo. Once you've taken the photo, go back into your photo, and then you can highlight the text because the live text sometimes it doesn't come up. So that's kind of my own experience with it, but it's a great tool. It's a great tool. It's great, and I believe the Mac OS has it as well.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. So for those who do have the latest iPhone or they're going to buy the iPhone SE, you can basically point and shoot your camera at some text. You tap onto the screen, and then on the bottom sort of right-hand side, there's a little icon that pops up, and then you can tap that, and then you can then copy and paste the text wherever you want, which is very convenient.
Convenient. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, let's talk about iPad, shall we?
Yeah, iPad.
They announced a new iPad Air, which was actually rumored, right? 5th gen now. And it has M1. So interesting, isn't it? The iPad Pro's got M1. Now this thing has an M1. They say it's 60% better performance. And just like iPhone, 5G is a common theme. New colors as well. New description for colors, I guess. And that is available pre-order tomorrow. Again, shipping in the following week as well in selected countries. So, but form factor hasn't changed. The same, isn't it?
Yes.
Same size.
It appears to be the same size and same camera spec as well.
Yeah. 10.9.
Yeah. It's interesting because what my question is, so are they no longer selling the iPad Pros? Because it's running the same chipset. iPad Pro had the M1 and, this one was running a different chipset, but now it's running the same. So it's on par for the Pro. So from a customer set, what would you want to buy the Pro over the new Air? Yeah.
And it's got more colors. You got more selection, doesn't it?
Yeah. So kind of makes the Pro redundant unless you want the 12.9 Pro.
Yes.
So I think, but I think it's just a launch window. I think the Air and the Pro's a little bit out. So I think the Pros are coming. You can probably guess what's coming on the Pros, right?
It's a very hard decision. Do you go for 10.9 or do you go for 11? 0.1 inch.
well, hang on. What are the sizes again? Recap me. It's 11 inch versus a 10.9.
10.9, yeah.
Okay. Tomato, right?
Yeah, tomato.
Yeah, tomato.
Yeah.
No, it's good value. I think for M1, I mean, it's probably what we call it in gaming terms OP. OP for a iPad to have running an M1 chip.
Yeah.
OP, true. AKA meaning overpower. Yeah.
Yeah, true. I mean, it works with the same pencil, the keyboards as well.
Yep. Same, everything the same.
Everything the same, right?
Okay.
Just pulling up here the colors. So there's 5 colors: space gray, pink, purple, blue, and starlight. Starlight's kind of like a creamy white color, and they kind of look like a bit pastel.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So, hey, that may appeal to people out there.
Yeah.
For that. So, yeah, that's that really. Let's talk about the big topic of the keynote, the Mac.
The Mac. Yes, they've announced a new Mac called the Mac Studio. Well, we're already giving it, the market's already giving the nickname already, the Big Mac, because it's quite big. Form factor is quite big.
It's like doubled in size.
Mate, it's triple. It looks triple in size.
Right.
So yeah,
it's like you have it the Mac Mini is like the cheeseburger, and then the Mac Studio is the Big Mac.
The Big Mac. And there's a reason why it's Big Mac, because they've introduced the M1 Pro and Max chipset to it. But they've also launched the brand new chipset, which caught everyone by surprise, because everyone thought in the next evolution of the chipset, the M2. Now they've released launched the M1 Ultra. Ultra M1. So basically,
what does Ultra mean?
Basically, they've stitched together. They found a way of stitched together, in my layman terms here, right? So, forgive me for listeners that are a bit more techie. Two M1 Max chipsets together. So it's basically running. They've stitched 2 chipsets together, and it identifies as running one. So it's double the capacity. It's basically one super chipset. Silicon, which via the specs sounds amazing, but I think it might have some cooling issues. So that's why the Mac Studio has these super coolant fans around it. Around the housing of the Mac Studio. So yeah,
I saw that. Like, I was like wondering, why is it so tall? Like,
yeah. I mean, two thirds of the space is actually the fan. Yeah,
like so 2 fans in there, right?
Yeah. So it must generate some heat,
mate. 2 beef patties.
Yeah. But it looks super. I mean, the things you can do to it. The Mac Studio, you can house, I think, 3 27 5K screens and a 4K television as well out of the one Mac Studio. So clearly, it's marketed for that niche, or that creative market, right? The videographer, the photographer, the content creator. That's really what it's for multiple screens. To have one unit like that, it's pretty amazing what it can output.
Good for those guys, eh?
Yeah.
What were we looking on price?
Well, there's a funny thing. The Twitter's blown up already, and there's one guy. His name is Caleb Denison. Mac Studio, take my money now. By the way, I'm selling my 4-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms in New York City just to afford it. You don't want to look at the specs. I think the specs I had a spec out to be the Ultra, and it worked out to be something like 6,000 AUD Australian. So it's cool. It's up there for a desktop with no screen.
Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely on the very high end side.
Yeah. Probably sort of a staff member in an office wouldn't be using this then, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Definitely what you said, their content creator, perhaps a YouTuber, or someone that does a lot of heavy video, photos, imagery. Wow. And Did they pair it up with anything?
They certainly did. They launched. Well, now they've got the Mini, the new Mini Mac Studio. They've also launched the Studio Display, 27-inch, 5K Retina, with a chipset inbuilt. And they've upgraded the FaceTime camera to 12 megapixel ultra wide, the same as the iPad camera. That looks pretty decent compared. I mean, price wise compared to the Pro XDR. I mean, Pro XDR is like 10 grand AUD, so this is a bit more on the affordable end, I thought.
Right. And I think I researched this. So they launched these two products, but the iMac 27 is gone burgers.
Yes, the Intel is gone. They've killed the iMac Pro, which was the Intel, and then now the standard 27-inch is gone. So you can't buy a 27-inch iMac anymore. So if you want a 27-inch, you're going to buy the Mac Studio or a Mac Mini and pair it with their new Studio Display.
Right. Yeah. And I saw there's two types of glass. I'm just reading here. There's on the Studio Display. There's a standard glass and then there's a nano textured glass.
Yeah, nano textured glass. I'm just reading here. Nano textured glass shadow the lights to further minimize glare. So it's almost like I can only assume it has that matte look on it.
Okay.
To diffuse the light a bit more. Must have some coating inbuilt. I haven't seen it. Is this the first time they've offered it? Was this on XDR Pro?
Good question.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Never really looked into the XDR Pro because out of my price range.
I think it's out of most people's price range. It's but it's a $500 opt-in, yeah?
Yeah. And multiple mounts, like some add-ons, right? Would you like fries with that? Is it?
I laugh when I see this. It's well, at least they've brought down the tilt and adjust stand by half price because it originally was $1,000.
Okay,
they've brought it down by another. They brought it down 40%. Okay, so $600.
Right.
$600 premium. I think it was $999 for the XDR, so they've dropped the price on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, and that allows you to tilt the height and adjustable. Yeah, that's what it is.
Right. Yeah. So if you want the height, then you got to spend the extra money.
Yeah. It's RIP 599.
Yeah. Wow.
So I mean, if you spec up the price on the, just say you want the tilt, it's $3,600 plus the standard Ultra. You're talking 10 grand.
10 G's, baby.
10 G's, baby.
10 G's, baby.
10 G's, baby.
I'm gonna sell my 3-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
That's for some people that can make use of that technology, perfect for them, right?
Yeah, 100%.
For the individual in the office, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a amazing machinery equipment, but yeah, it'll be, if you're just browsing, it's a bit OP.
Yeah, it is a bit OP. Yeah, might as well just go for the 24-inch iMac. Right?
Yeah, 24-inch is probably good value, right?
Yeah.
24-inch with iMac, or even the Mac Mini that's still running the M1 chip. So they've got a M1. They have the Pro Max and then the Ultra, and then they have the laptops. I think the laptops are good value.
Yeah, and just to clarify, no colors in the new screen. No colors in the Studio Display.
No, just the standard color. Yeah, just not like the Mac, the iMacs. No,
the iMacs. Yeah. Okay. All right.
But no, it's good. It's good that Apple's brought back the their displays because there was a bit of a gap at the they did after the cinema displays they stopped producing them. Remember back in the day they did the 23,
yes,
the 17, 23, and the 30 inch.
The
30,
the big one, the big 30 one.
Remember selling those ones?
Yes.
The 30. So it's good that they've brought back into kind of reasonable pricing for a 27, and it's 5K around the display, so it's pretty impressive. 5K.
Gotcha. So, for you, was there any standout in the keynote?
The keynote standout? I have to say the Mac Studio. I mean, I know there's a lot of people making fun of it. I mean, it's pretty amazing machinery, and particularly with the M1 Ultra chipset, no one saw it coming. So I think that's probably the highlight. Surprised everyone.
True.
Yeah,
True.
and if you're a content creator, I mean, I saw some stats: 4K rendering, 20-minute. I think the Pro Max was doing it in like 8 minutes. They're saying the Ultra can probably do it in 3 minutes now. So from a rendering, pretty amazing. I mean, back in the day, you used to do 1-to-1, right? 1 minute rendering with 1 minute video would be 1 minute rendering. So yeah, man, I think the leap of these chipsets have really accelerated because in our space, every 18 months it's double the power. This is like quadruple the power in 18 months. So yeah, it's definitely trending that way. So yeah, I mean, and this is just a start. Can you imagine what the future can hold too, right? That's what I'm excited about. Yeah, this is just So that's pretty good. What about you, Bully?
Me, to be honest, I didn't have much expectation out of this keynote, and the rumors actually were quite spot on with the studio stuff there. The Ultra definitely caught everyone out. Like no one kind of mentioned that in the rumors, that we kind of look at or read before the event. So in terms of product, nothing for me really, but I did enjoy, seeing, the Apple team and Tim Cook come on. I did enjoy seeing, the woman on stage as well, representing and obviously talking about the things that they're expert in. So that was really cool. And yeah, it was a great presentation. I actually enjoyed the ad for the Mac Studio. That was a cool ad.
Yeah, kind of reminded me of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, that was cool ad, when she went into the the holes and then obviously saw the insides of it, and then she got blown out, because of the Ultra. That was a cool ad for me. So that's probably in short, that was my highlight.
Yeah, nice. Well, with that said, that's another Apple launch, the March launch for 2022. I look forward to the next launch, which is really the next iPhone launch, really now, right? Which is September, October. With that said, thanks again for listening to our show. Thank you. See you next week.
See you guys. Bye-bye.